Alright. So it seems like something's coming out of nowhere, picking us off one by one as we're alone, but when someone else shows up, it goes away. So, you know what we need to do now, right?
We need to split and go look for it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, good. Man, I was worried there for a second. I thought we actually had a stupid idea. Ah! Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 24 of Digimon Ghost Game, Twisted Love. For those of you who have seen these episodes, you'll know we are going very in-depth into these episodes with many spoilers about everything that goes on in the episode. So if you're worried about those spoilers, you may wish to leave and come back at a later time. Make sure you come back to like, comment, and subscribe once you have seen it and care to see more.
Yes.
So, without further ado, let us dive into episode 24, Twisted Love, which starts with the same narration.
Same over narration, yet again.
So,
in fact, 90% of this episode, I swear I've seen before.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of people think this is so intense, so body horror, and I mean, yeah, to some extent, yeah.
But even body horror we've kind of had before.
Yeah. So, we start off kind of with the formula. It goes a little more into it this time. It's
a little
not
longer
quite
than usual. It's really the only real difference.
Yeah. We see two people. We don't know who they are.
They do have names.
They do? Yes.
One of them is actually important for the rest of the episode, but...
Yes. The one is the one that walks away is Kiyoshi. Again, it only matters so much, but he walks away, walks through a tunnel, is just checking something on his phone, and suddenly gets dragged up off screen by these vines, and his jaw is wrenched open and everything.
Yeah, it doesn't look very comfortable.
It's rather intense. And it brings this needle really close to his face, like, oh my... Except it doesn't actually, like, stab him. It drops a little...
Doesn't poke him in the eye or anything.
Yeah. Drops a little bit of purple liquid into his mouth. And almost immediately, his vines start growing out of his arm. And as we get a better look, it looks like it replaces his arm. It is his arm. It's now made out of vines.
At this point, the other person...
We don't know the name yet. But this is the reoccurring character. This is Yuto.
Yeah, let's go Yuto and get out of the way.
Yeah, that you will see many times in this episode. And he sees this. We don't really quite know his reaction too much, because we really quickly...
Yeah, cut to a greenhouse.
Cut to the greenhouse, where he's just watering some plants, and there's this little hologram... Well, no, this one's not a hologram, but a little drone that follows him around. It looks similar to the drones we saw in episode 4.
I mean, those are more balls and hologram, but the idea is similar enough.
Yeah, the idea is still similar. And it's stalking him, staring at him.
It's looking at him intently.
Yep.
Then
he talks to his dad, a little bit, and so we realize that's his father, but that's not really important.
I don't think we ever get his name. He's that important.
Yeah, it's not that important.
But anyway, because he works in the greenhouse, he has a delivery to make.
Yeah, he goes to deliver flowers. He only has to water it once a week. It seems like he knows, what he's talking about and everything. And he, thank you. He seems very nice, courteous.
Seems like he's good at his job. Yeah.
Yep. But he goes back to his little scooter and realizes, oh, there's these fertilizers that I'm supposed to give to her. And so
back up he goes.
And we hear her screaming, complaining about her leg this time, which is now vines.
Now vines, yep.
And a rogue vine slithers back up
off the camera.
Off camera. So, and then again, we don't really get to see much of his reaction. Like, does he call the ambulance? Does he the cops? Does he what? I don't know. Because once again, we just switch over.
He charges extra for it.
Yeah, he's talking to some girl with a dog in the park.
Looks like he's jogging. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like...
He's got like a tracksuit on.
Yeah, it seems like a classmate or something. They seem to know each other. And like, yeah, I'll see you later, Yuto. And he starts jogging away, and she screams. And there's a group of people around, and she's also got a vine arm.
Vine appendage, yeah.
So, it seems like this has all pretty much happened in one day to this guy.
Yeah.
It seems like he's...
Yuto is somehow connected to it.
Yeah, to say the least. And, yeah, we just see him that night just sitting here going, what is going on?
He's kind of freaked out about it, and is wondering what he can do about it.
So he goes, "Oh yeah, I remember something," and looks through his
phone. Yep.
His phone. Looks like he's on whatever
some sort of social
that,
media, Facebook, something.
That
whatever appropriate is in that world.
Yeah, I believe we've been told what the name of it is in this world, but I do not. I do not remember. Here, future Rordrik, there's your job for the video. Thank you. Why do I do this to myself?
Hey, past Rordrik did you, not me. Don't take it out on me.
Why do I do this to myself?
Anyway, he comes across the Lirurin's account.
With some strange phenomenon.
Yeah, looking about information on strange phenomena. And instead of going to it or like making a post, he notices the back of Hero's head.
So yeah, apparently he knows Hero because he recognizes the back of his head.
Yeah. So instead of looking at this account, he instead calls up Hero.
And they meet.
Kind of a roundabout way of going about this, but okay, sure.
And they meet, I guess, in the dorm room, just kind of somewhere in the dorm building.
I guess.
It looks like. It doesn't look like any fancy, cafe or anything. They just seem...
And Yuto mentions stuff about what is happening to him, and also that's, how's your dad been? He used to come, You guys used to come by the shop a lot. We haven't seen you in a while. And Hero basically goes, oh yeah, my dad's a thing.
Yeah, Dad's fine, I think.
Because apparently he doesn't care about flying him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
He's long since given up on that quest.
Yeah. Though I do notice when Yuto was talking about it, he says when he saw these people, it looks like a hologram bugged out.
Oh, yeah.
And what... So the only thing I can guess that means is like those weird circle things that we see when Digimon phenomena are happening on things. That's what he's talking about? Because I don't know what else he's talking about.
So you put more thought into it tonight.
About hologram bugging out. That's the only thing I
think this is more just people are still so dense that you think everything's a hologram. This is somehow a hologram that turns your arm into things.
I mean,
this is a world who doesn't care about the Weemon invasion.
Yeah. So, nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They deserve to be taken over at this point.
Go Fellasmon.
Yeah.
But yeah. And so, yeah. Will you ask Lirurin about this? And yeah, sure. Yeah, I know her. I can...
And because someone asked him to do something, he says yes.
Yes. Yeah. That he's still been very consistent.
There's one of a few consistent things about these characters, yeah.
Yeah. And
so they go their separate ways. We cut to Gamamon and Kyo, who are watching an anime.
Watching a mecha anime of some kind, yeah.
And then cut back to...
You're in the laundry room.
He's trying to call Ruli. Getting a busy signal at the moment.
Yeah, she just doesn't pick up for whatever reason. Don't know.
Shoot, man.
She asks, does she have cram school today or something? So like,
could be, yeah.
We never know.
But regardless, more important is the vines show up again.
Yeah, the vine shows up and start to grab him, wrapping around his face so he doesn't shout out and everything.
And then Gamamon uses the force, senses the disturbance in the force, and knows to go find Hero.
Yes. Why? How? Digimon have kind of been able to do that throughout the season, so it's not a big...
It's not,
big deal.
Now, where did this come from? But again, an explanation would be nice.
Yeah.
Anything like... Any explanation at this point would be nice.
Because, there is the data stream of, the attacks, so there is some additional communication that's going between them. But yeah, explain that. Tell us what this is, how this works.
It's episode 25. We shouldn't be speculating like this.
Yeah.
But anyway...
Not quite 25, but yeah, 24. But yeah, no, we should know more about that.
So, Gilshiro and Gamamon show up, and the plant instantly drops him and immediately goes away.
Yeah, it was trying to do the drop thing into his mouth too, but it retreats. It doesn't even... It immediately leaves, doesn't try to finish the job. So, okay. Interesting. And Kyo's obviously freaking out, like, what'd you get us into this time? And even though, technically, Hero did kind of get them into this because he agreed, but this wasn't...
It was kind of brought to them.
Yeah.
That's the case with most of these things. This group was extremely reactionary.
Yes.
You very rarely seek something out and try to make things better.
They're not very proactive, no.
But anyway, we switched to Ruli and Yoto, and the whole group is now assembled at the greenhouse.
Assembled at the greenhouse, and
Ruli says she'll be happy to help a father's request.
Yeah.
So again, which leads me to why didn't he just post to
her
site, and why go to Hero first and then go to...
Yeah.
Got to keep the storyline moving. Actually, no, it's not. It makes the storyline longer.
Yeah. Meet with a friend instead of someone strange. A stranger.
She has so many requests she doesn't normally do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
We wasted too much time on this already.
Yeah, yeah.
And we see the robot again.
Yep, and it introduces itself as GW1.
Well, he introduces GW1 saying,
yeah.
"Help the holograms." Totally holograms.
The other AI program is
holograms will get along with them.
Yeah, so Gamamon's like, "Hi, I'm Gamamon," and it just rolls away.
And ignores them. Yeah.
Well, I guess it doesn't get along with others.
And now we're talking to plants because, well, it's a greenhouse. It's kind of what he does.
That's what people do. And
Kyo helps too, and Kyo's commenting on this.
Yeah, curious. She's like, "Oh, I read a paper about this before and stuff." Which, if he really did, graduate at 14 or whatever ridiculous age he supposedly did.
Master degree at 13.
Yeah, whatever exactly it was. Yeah, I assume he would have. He's seen research papers, and maybe that's what he was researching in the Mon episode. I don't know.
When he wasn't building a power plant.
Yeah.
But anyway, then we talked about the robot GW a little more.
Yep.
And he's coming, that's an older model robot.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying, we've had it for a long time. Just recently, it's asked us to start calling it GW1.
Yeah.
What could have happened that would make this old robot suddenly change programming like that? It's a mystery, folks.
Yep. No idea.
The super genius with the Masters at 13 can't figure it out. Can you?
Yes. Comment down below what you think this could possibly be. And so...
Kyo wants, maybe I'll take up gardening, and then he wanders away a little bit. And not surprisingly...
the vines come out and...
he gets attacks him.
And attack it. But he at least gets a scream out, so everybody starts to hear this. Including Jellymon, who... Until this point,
this is her first appearance of the episode. Yeah.
I don't know where she was.
What she was doing, where she was.
But now she's here, because everyone was gathered.
Yep.
Never saw her.
Yeah. When she calls out darling, it's enough to spook this plant monster away again.
Yep. And we're starting to get better looks at it every time.
Yeah, a little more.
So for those of you who, know Digimon, I mean, this is an obscure one.
This is pretty obscure, yeah.
All props to you if you recognize it and knew it. Unless you watched our previous episode, then you would have known, because I told you. But it's yeah. So it's such an obscure Digimon that when Angoramon comes running in and they start talking about it, he doesn't know what it is.
He doesn't easily recognize it. It's amazing.
Wow. And Jellymon has to say, "That's not a monster.
It's a Digimon." No.
I mean,
who would have ever thought it would be a Digimon? Because it's always been a Digimon. And the one time it wasn't, nobody cared.
Yes. The time travel episode, yes.
The one time it wasn't, nobody cares.
Yeah. And I mean, she was saying it like, yeah, duh. I mean, she wasn't,
She didn't look shocked by this. But
still, they've done this before.
Even have to mention it at this point. It's like,
yeah.
There's every possibility it wasn't.
So yeah, so now
that they know it's a Digimon, they activate the quasi fields to get other humans out there and trap it in the area.
No.
Super Genius doesn't think of that.
No, they don't. They decide to camp. They decide to start cooking out, and it's like, well, this thing is clearly attached to Yuto, so we're gonna have to stick around and figure things out. So they start cooking, and Gamamon, of course, has to eat
chocolate-covered marshmallows.
Yeah, some of the food. And Yuto's like, "Wait, you ate that? Oh, yeah, these new models are really something, huh?" Guys,
episode 24. You've got to work better on your cover stories if you're still going with it.
Your cover stories, they can go invisible and intangible,
all these things
at will. You can do so much better.
Yeah.
The original, Adventure Kids had trouble because they didn't have this stuff. Yeah. They didn't have all this stuff at their disposal. You have plenty of ways of making this work.
So at this point, you talk a little bit about the attacks, and it seems like mostly it's based on people Yuto has been talking to.
Mm-hmm.
You do mention, he hasn't come after my parents.
Yes.
Which they do explain later, so props to them for that.
Yes. Kyo was told 15 minutes, and Hiro was told 1 hour when he was attacked. That was the only words they heard. Mm-hmm. So they're like, yeah, if it's time spent with Kuda, well, then yeah, the parents would be, the number one target. So, And, well, since we haven't figured it out now, we're totally camping out here.
Yep.
We gotta bring out the tents and do total camping. And Dad's there.
Dad was there cooking, then he leaves for the night.
Yeah. Says, take care. I mean, so apparently he knows this is happening and he's okay with it. But...
He knows Hero, apparently, so at least you trust him, I suppose.
Yeah. Most people trust Hero.
The fools.
That's why he's a master lockpick.
So anyway, now that they've seen multiple times that this thing attacks multiple solo targets and is easily scared away by big groups, they have Kyoshiro stand guard outside the tent alone.
Alone, yep.
Not even Jellymon.
No, we see Jellymon floating around inside the tent, so she still floats when she sleeps.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Oh, okay. Kind of seems like she'd bump into stuff. Or face through stuff and get real lost.
Wake up. Where am I?
Again, we're thinking about this more than the writers are thinking.
Probably. And then GW1 rolls up to Kyoshiro. And guess what? There's a Digimon in it!
Yeah.
And then attacks a single person!
Yes, we never have seen Digimon possess electronic things before in this season.
This totally catches them off guard. How would they have known?
Mm-hmm. Though it doesn't immediately try to poison him this time.
No, it doesn't.
Instead, looks into the tent and starts to grab Yuto as well. But then suddenly the other two shine their flashlights.
The humans are waiting and they're playing their phone lights at them, yeah.
So I guess
they're pretending they're laying a trap? Is this the worst trap ever? Because no one was keeping an eye on Kyo?
Well, they do use people terribly as bait in this season. They've done that many times.
I couldn't believe this was their plan. It's not really explained. They're pretty bad at this.
Yeah. Because there's at least 2 or 3 other times this season that using people as bait has not worked out.
And well, surprise, surprise, flashing a light at him doesn't stop him. And he runs off with Kyo and Yuto.
Yes. And he starts running away very quickly. But now Angoramon got a good enough look at him.
Yes.
That we now know that this is Agitarmon. Ayatarmon. I just call it Agitar just because that's how you pronounce it in English.
All the Japanese pronunciations. Guaranteed wrong or I'll double your money back.
Yes.
And at this point, Jellymon calls to Kyoshiro, why are you so stupid? Well, I hate to break this to you, Jelly, but right now, you all are pretty stupid.
Yeah.
You're reminding me of the main cast of Fmon, where you just don't seem to have a clue. Problem is, you don't have a Ray and Hackmon to do things in the background.
To actually get things moving? Yes.
Yeah.
So while they're running, they're like, oh, he's really fast. I don't know if we can keep up. So Hiro's like, oh, let me activate the field so that, we can get Yuto away and, trap it in. But Jellymon stops him because if Yuto escapes, what will happen to
He's worried at
Kyoshiro? Okay.
I'll give you this. Again, why you didn't do this when you first knew it was a Digimon is not acceptable, but this isn't bad for a reason why you're not doing it now.
Yeah. And so, thankfully, it seems like Gamamon can still smell Kyoshiro. Because, he's been around him a lot. He would know.
Yeah, I have no problem with this. It's been established that he's a pretty good tracker.
Yeah. So, they follow after him. And that's our commercial break. Oh, no, sorry.
The show starts in 5 minutes.
Yes. And we come back from commercial, and Kyo and Yuto are tied up to some stone pillars.
Kind of looks like underneath the subway.
Underneath the subway.
Probably not. It's
car garage. I don't know exactly. Concrete.
Looks like a Mummymon thing.
Place. Yeah.
This is about the cocoons.
Yeah, and so...
So now we have a bunch of more of those rolling orb cameras, which apparently were part of GW, but maybe not.
There's like a dozen of them. There's a lot. I don't know where all of these have come from. Yeah. Tarmon somehow been replacing them.
Regardless, they all light up, and they all have pictures of Yuto. Well, actually, they all have 3 pictures, just repeated 3 or 4 times each.
Yeah.
You don't have enough screenshots, enough frames made at this point to have 12 different pictures?
Yeah.
You have to duplicate the same 3 ones a bunch of times?
That is strange. Yeah, I don't know.
Weird. But anyway, he tells the story we've heard before about how he first came to this world and no one could see him and he was so sad and lonely. And then he heard Yuto talking to him. Well, Yuto's just talking to the plants.
Yeah.
And GW.
Or talking to the drone. He could be talking to both, yeah.
Probably both, as it turns out.
Yeah. And because he became GW1, he was possessing it, because, well, no one could see him, but he could at least do that, interact with electronic things. Again, it's fairly consistent.
Yeah. Because we've seen all before.
Yeah.
This has all been done before.
And he says, things will go well.
One of the things he says that really made an impression to him is, keep trying really hard, and if you do, things will go well. And this had a big impact on him. And also we learned the concept of human love at some point. Not quite sure how or when, but...
Well, it's why it's called twisted love. It's not exactly the correct...
It seems like he learns or interprets more to more hyperbole stuff we say about, like, destined for each other, completely changed to be the other person.
Yeah.
Things like this. He seems to
go very much to the extremes. But because he feels the love and stuff, we see him in the flashback after he's heard this materialize. He feeds off the human emotion in order to the connection to materialize, which is cool. That's what we've established. That's
at least following the lore.
That's a good way,
which is better than sometimes they seem to do.
Mm-hmm.
So credit that at least.
And so he finally reveals what he's been doing. He's the one that's been behind all the other vines and everything, and he wants to turn a human into an Ajatarmon. More specifically,
he wants to turn
Yuto, because he wants them to be together because they were made
for each other, the destiny, and change the view of the other person. You said all the extreme exaggerations that you use with the love.
Yes, I've experimented on so many others to make it perfect for you, Yoto. Aren't you so happy? Aren't you proud? I've tried so hard, so things will go well.
Yeah.
And he's freaking out.
He's understandably not real happy about this.
What? I don't know you. I don't...
And he's like, I wasn't talking to you. I don't know you.
Yeah. And so he turns to Kyosho, who's also there. And he's like, you talk to Yuto for 15 minutes. You will be my last experiment to make sure. He's like, I knew it was about the time.
And he did mention that about the parents. And he goes, well, I would never... Obviously, his caretakers. I would never attack them.
Yeah, that would upset Yuto.
And also the concept of Digimon have had caretakers with the primary village builds it again.
Yeah.
So this is a concept that makes sense to a Digimon.
Yeah, they don't quite have parents like we do, but... You still have usually someone that can help take care of you when you're, a baby Digimon in a world of megas that can stomp on you.
So he still gets the idea that, this is not a love interest. Again, with his concept of love, not a love interest, but...
Yeah. And so he grabs Kyosho, drops it in, and his arm immediately starts, and even seems like some of his legs, he really starts to...
And at this point, all drama about the transformations is lost, because we know how this series works. He will be returned to normal by the end of the episode. Therefore, there's no drama here. There's no big surprise. No, oh my god! I know some writers think there are, but in this situation, no. You have taken away all the drama. You'll be fine. All the other people will probably be fine.
Because you have made such an episodic season.
Yes.
Any other season of Digimon, I at least could think, it's going to be a couple episodes to fix, and... Just this season is so episodic, and that is our big issue with it. We know things have to relatively be back to neutral for the next episode.
But the rest of the group arrives. Follow Gamomon's nose.
Yep. Before he can get to Yuto and everything and do anything more, and they Gamamon goes swinging at him, and it startles him away, but obviously, for those of you who don't know, this is an ultimate.
Yeah. Again, the Digimon Analyzer, or whatever we're going with for that, in this season, tells us he's an ultimate.
Tells us this is an ultimate. So, this is going to be a really tough fight. Should be.
In theory. So, Gamamon and Simba go at it, and they don't do all that well.
And they do not do very well, no. They get the fireball thrown right back in his face. Vines grab him, throw him, Simba back, and the slam that Battle Gamamon gets to the face, slow mo. It looks like it hurts. It's again not a terrible little fight, really.
Yeah, that's about how it should be going at this point.
Yeah.
And at this point, Hiro gets the idea to play with some of the camera balls.
Yeah, as Jellymon throws herself in, like, they're not doing good enough. Let me get in there.
Yeah. And it gets on one of those speeches that Yuto says.
Yeah, things will go well. It's okay, GW1.
And that distracts him a little bit. So what do they do this direction? Hero yells at the top of his lungs for Jellymon to move in. And gee, it gets him back into the fight.
And she does by jumping over onto Kyo and BB thundering him in the face. Because he's passed out.
How?
I guess he limit broke.
Yeah, it was for a limit
Integer
break thing.
overflow.
Yeah, but it doesn't say that. Not that I really understood what that is either.
Yeah, he just seems to wake up and they immediately digivolve. Because, as Ruli has said, it's not the fact that this Digimon is too strong, it's the fact that they can't attack it on enough fronts.
Yes, because its vines work like a second second set of hands. So with 3 of them, it doesn't have enough hands, and they immediately knock it and blow it away.
Yeah.
Towards the camera, and kind of an odd-looking effect. It looks more like you jumping from explosion from a action movie, but regardless.
So, yeah, they're able to stop an ultimate. I guess I can't say fully defeat because it's right there.
But limp and bad the next one when it comes back.
Yeah, it seems like they did a good number, which...
So again, here's the thing. They beat an ultimate, not real hard. Here's the happy ending time, right? We're going to have some Budman run out of the crevices and tell you how happy it is. Or they'll say 3 or 4 lines to it and they'll completely understand love. Or it doesn't do that.
No, this is where actually the episode made me... This is where it shocked me.
Yeah.
This is where, like,
After being so paint by numbers at this point, they take it in their own direction now.
Yeah, because he starts to pull out another needle and it's like, Yuto, please, this is how it must be.
It's destiny.
It's destiny. And he was like, no, I can't. I can't. I don't want to. I don't want to. And this devastates them. And so they pull out a different colored needle. And Ruli standing there fearlessly in the way of protecting her precious follower.
Yes.
And it stabs itself.
Basically saying, well, if you can't become a Digimon, then I must have to become a human. And immediately you start to see the vines start to turn brown and fall off his head.
Fall off. The weapons just come collapsing down.
And he throws down all his mask, the weapons, armor, saying, humans don't have these.
I don't want them. Yuto, look at me. Look at me. I'm like you.
I'm like a human, yes. And then it cuts around a little bit, and you see his arms fall off.
Just fall off. And it's just... I don't understand why. I tried.
It didn't go well. And at this point, Yuto moves to him.
Finally tries to, like, grab him, hug him, something, and just deletes.
And he disintegrates, deletes. He's gone. No happy ending.
Wow.
I didn't think this show would do that.
Yes, this is... You want the horror season. This is what you're supposed to be,
horror
right?
doesn't have happy endings very often.
This is what I expected of this season after the first couple episodes.
Yeah. Not that I want to give these kids PTSD or anything, but this is the theme you're going for. Yeah. This is the kind of endings I'm expecting. This feels right for this series.
Yeah, and it's not even like, he deletes in the eggs right there. Even though we've been told the eggs come.
Yeah, we have seen one. We've seen Black Galhamon get 1 egg.
But, yeah, there's no egg there or something to even give you the usual Digimon, kind of happy ending of it. The egg's there. They can come back. Because, if he could raise it, Ajitarmon from a little baby, they could understand better or something.
Yeah, no, nothing like that.
So that got my attention. I felt something there, because, whoa!
I mean, again, I don't feel bad for him. He was trying to turn people into plant monsters.
Yeah, but
it was not expected. And again,
I like being surprised.
I like being surprised. Yeah,
that was in a good way,
right?
Yeah.
I like most endings where the Weemons drop from the heavens, or the people run up. Don't hurt Captain Frozone.
Yeah.
No,
this was right. Yeah.
Yeah, this was right for this season. So full marks there. So up to this point, it's been cook and cutter. But this was a nice ending in that regard. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we have a little scene now at the greenhouse. Nothing really comes from it.
Yeah, Gamamon's still hanging out with him.
Yuto looks at the robot, and that's about it.
The robot's pretty still. We get some Angoramon random poetry again.
So at this point I'm going, it must be your standard ending.
Everyone's just back to normal.
Back normal, yeah. No, not quite.
No, because we get a silhouette of Jellymon with some sort of weird bladed thing or something, and we soon get to see that she's wrestling with Kyo.
She's got a big syringe and some tinkling and saying, yeah, Mummy Mama's able to make antidote just from one of the poison needles that Hero got.
Yep.
Okay, nice.
That makes some sense, yeah.
All back to Mummy Mom that can work on humans. Okay, good there.
Yeah. Yeah, because Kyo is still 3 limbs down in mines. And he is fighting it.
Yeah, surprisingly hard.
I don't know if he just thinks Jellybon's going to make it as painful as possible.
Stick it a few places, take it back out a few times, throwing a step on the eye a few times.
Yeah.
I mean, possibly. I could see Jellymon doing that and not wanting her to give it a shot, asking, like, can Hero do it? But that doesn't really seem to be the case. He just seems really
against it. Hero
saying, it's time to come back to being human again.
Yeah. I think it just didn't quite come across right, I assume. But yeah, something doesn't seem quite right with that.
Of course, this also raises the question of, if they didn't just turn back, how are they going to give the serum to the other people?
Everybody else, yeah.
What story are they going with here? Are they going to have sneaking in hospitals in the middle of the night?
Send Clockmon.
Don't worry, I'm sure it'll never be addressed, so don't worry about it. I'm thinking about it more than the writers anyway.
And yeah, that wraps up episode 24.
And I said, 90% of it's storyless, paint filler, stuff we've seen before, but has a nice ending.
A nice ending.
Nice change. It's funny that the really sad ending where somebody gets deleted is the one I call a nice ending.
Yeah.
More appropriate, more satisfying.
And I mean, you could build off of this if Yudo came back and, did something. I have no faith.
I had no doubt that Yudo will ever show up again.
Season that.
Outside of a brief cameo at best.
Yeah. So, again, things you could do with this season. There's so many of them. They just refuse to do it. But, so, we move on to our preview of episode 25?
Question mark?
Question mark? Because, yeah, normally it's, just a nice little quick brief intro of, this is what's coming up. This is an episode name, and
this one is Digimon Ghost Game Special: A Strange World.
And it does talk about how you hear sounds that aren't there.
You feel like someone's watching you, but no one's there.
So it's a lot of the same kind of things that happen in these episodes,
but it's not animated. It's a house, room,
live action. And then we move over to. It looks like the narrator guy that's been talking to us at the beginning of the episodes and the very end is now talking to us, talking to the camera.
Yes.
And, join me as we investigate these ghosts.
Talk to you about this.
Phenomenons.
So what is this episode? Is it an official episode?
I don't think it's going to be episode 25, so is it...
Yeah, because... Is that what it means by special?
Yeah.
It's something they had to make because of the hack, and they couldn't really work on the standard episode, so they threw this together real quick.
Yeah.
Is it just going to be the actors doing it? Will somebody be running around in a Gamamon costume?
I know.
Is this a dreaded clip episode?
That is what I really hope we don't not get a recap episode.
I have no idea what this is.
So, yeah. Tune in next week and we'll let you know what it was.
If it's an actual episode or not, or...
I assume there'll be something for us to talk about.
Something to talk about, but what exactly it is, I
don't know.
Not sure.
Well, thank you all for watching. We rambled on for a while, as always. Thank you so much for sticking through if you made it this far. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more Digimon content from us. And as always, everyone, remember to be awesome. And until the next one, take care. Bye-bye.